Now it's my pleasure to introduce a speaker from the graduating class. Joshua Van Coten is a sports business major. A Denver native, he has been vice president of SLU's Consulting Club, helped form the group Greeks Rooted in Prayer, and is the host of the podcast, get this, entitled To My Friend's Opinion, featuring SLU faculty and students. He also helped lead the Oriflamme Fall orientation and is a member of Beta Theta Pi. After graduation, Josh hopes to pursue a master's degree in sports management. Please join me in welcoming our 2017 student speaker, Joshua Van Coten.
Andy on the TV show The Office once said, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." I'm probably too young to consider any time period in my life the good old days, but it was this quote that kept circulating in my mind as I thought about graduation and my time at St. Louis University. Looking back, it took me a while to understand that these past 4 years have been the good old days. Even more so, it took me a while to witness what was so special about SLU. I can now say that I took my freshman year for granted. I had trouble adjusting to the college life and often couldn't figure out how I was going to succeed here. There were more than a few times I wondered if I should transfer. And I wondered if SLU was the right place for me. I'd been drawn to this university for many reasons: the Jesuit tradition, the programs, the city, the cute tour guide. Yet none of my visions seemed to be falling into place. Then disaster struck. After having a series of horrifying symptoms during my sophomore year, I was diagnosed with neuromyelitis optica. This disease, similar to multiple sclerosis, was so serious I temporarily lost the ability to walk. Thankfully, I fully recovered today. Leaving campus in agony, pain, and disappointment, I didn't know if I would ever return to SLU. It wasn't until I was lying in a hospital bed back home in Denver that I realized the greatness and power of the SLU community. Almost immediately after I was hospitalized, I started to receive phone calls and texts, coming both from great friends and from people I barely knew. All of them letting me know that they were saying prayers and asking if they could help. It was within these interactions that I witnessed a presence of grace and empathy unlike anything I had ever felt. Acquaintances were concerned with my well-being. They wanted to support me and see me back at school. This place I wasn't sure was right for me had opened its arms and was invested in the quality of my life. How could I let this community go? How could I not return to the place that so clearly invested more in me than I had in it? Coming back to St. Louis University was invigorating. I returned with a new sense of purpose and direction, determined to make up for what I had lost. I can now say that these past 2 years have been the most transformative of my life. Long and engaging discussions with my peers and faculty challenged my ideas and beliefs of the world. With every conversation, a piece of the reluctant me would die, and a new discovery would take its place. And as I began to learn, grow, and open myself up to new ideas and topics and viewpoints, I was inspired to start a podcast featuring SLU's faculty and students. With the podcast, I hope to bridge the political, ideological, and age gaps that divide us every day. From discussions on the ethics of technology to diversity on college campuses, I could sense the essence of SLU in each person I interviewed. As faculty and students shared their open and honest ideas, no matter their content, I could always tell they were motivated to contribute to the greater good. These interactions frame my understanding of SLU. I realize that all of us shape and contribute to the SLU experience. We are SLU. And yet SLU is greater than any of us. SLU is the ideas and actions of every person who has walked on this campus, woven together with the Jesuit traditions and ideals it was founded on. This is the school I was too blind to see as a freshman. I understand now that the SLU experience makes us vulnerable to the world and then gives us the people, knowledge, and tools to turn those vulnerabilities into strengths. I can confidently say that all of today's graduates benefited from and contributed to the SLU experience. If we can take these lessons and use them as a guiding light in everything we do, we will change the world for the better. So please, take the strengths you've gained during your time at St. Louis University and give them to the world. I promise amazing things will happen. Thank you.